Hey y'all, I am back with another episode and we're still talking about reasonable doubt. This prior episode was episode 7. It was titled Lost One. And for me, it was a very sad episode. This episode hit really close to home. And yeah, so please bear with me if I get emotional, or if because I feel like the experience, well, some of the experiences that Jax had in this episode, I have had personally, so I kind of want to reflect on my personal experience. But let's just go ahead and get into it. So, like I said, this is episode 7. It was titled "A Lost One," and like I keep bringing this up, but all of the episode titles are obviously Jay-Z songs. Well, it's not that obvious. I only found it out at the right before this season happened, and I realized that the show is actually named after a Jay-Z album. Now, mind you, I listen to Jay-Z. I really like him as a rapper, but like most of his music was out like either before my time or when I was really, really young. So yeah, so like a lot of these songs I don't know. I mean, a lot of them I do know because my brother was a big Jay-Z fan, and like I remember like listening to his older music through him. But yeah, when I saw the title Lost One, instead of thinking of Jay-Z, I thought of Jasmine Sullivan. And Jasmine Sullivan wrote the song Lost One based off of a relationship, like a romantic relationship. But, she uses it now, referring to the loss of her mom, which is crazy because of what this episode is about. But yeah, let's get into it. So the episode starts, it picks off where we left off last week with Jax coming in the house and her dad and Lewis telling her that her mom has cancer. And when it starts this week, we find out that she has colon cancer and she's in stage 2. So it's not as bad as it was seen. But the word cancer just like it's a word that like just stops the world. Like nobody ever wants to hear about anybody going through cancer. Like it's really a devastating word, which is crazy because my zodiac sign is Cancer, and I'm just like, could they have found another word to name that zodiac? I really have to look into the meaning of the actual word Cancer because I wonder where they came up with that in the zodiac. But I probably should have looked that up before I just brought it up right now. But I literally just thought about it as I said it. But yeah, so her mom has stage 2 colon cancer, and colon cancer is like a very serious cancer. Like I feel like even if it is in the beginning stages, it could be like kind of detrimental because your colon like I feel like I mean I don't like I'm not no doctor or nothing, and I know the colon like helps cleanse your body out, but I don't know what all the functions are of the colon, but I just feel like that's a very serious organ. So like colon cancer I feel like is like very detrimental. But anyways, going back to like the previously on part, they showed like her finding someone in the room, and they showed that at the beginning of the season, like the very first episode was Jax walking into the room and like crying and screaming because she saw somebody laid out. And I originally thought that it was going to be Naima, but now I'm thinking it's going to be Mama Lou. And like we'll get into that more, but especially after finding out that Mama Lou has cancer, I feel like it's going to be her that Jax finds in the room. So anyways, last week, I said the episode picked up where it left off, and Jax was obviously coming home from court, And last week I mentioned that like how much I liked Jack's suit in court, and then I thought it was a Louis suit, but in this like part of the episode I saw it more close up and I actually think it was a Gucci suit. But regardless of the fact, like that's not an important detail, but it was just a really nice suit, and like it was nice, and regardless of whether it's Louis or Gucci, she has the coin to be able to just wear that. And then I don't even think it was a full suit. Like I think it was just a blazer. But yeah, it just shows, how much coin Jax has and how stylish she is. But anyways, off of that, so Eddie and Lewis tell Jax that Mama Lou has cancer, and it is very shocking for her, and she just don't know how to deal. And she's just surprised that everybody knew this but her. And yeah, so my father had cancer. It wasn't colon cancer, but it was when he was first diagnosed with it, it was upper GI cancer. And I remember like at first, before I knew it was cancer, my daddy just kept going to the doctor, and I was like, what's the deal? Like, what's happening? And I remember like the day he finally told me that he had cancer, I like kind of heard him and my mom talking about it downstairs. And I was using the bathroom, and then my dad had called me because like he wanted to tell me. And we were sitting on the stairs, and it's crazy because I'm looking at the stairs right now. And yeah, he told me he had cancer, and I just remember bawling my eyes out, like. And yeah, I was very confused, just like how Jax was feeling, cause like it's like you don't want to think the worst, but you obviously think the worst when you hear that word. Like I said before, it's a very jarring word. But anyways, so they have that little conversation, and then Jax is like, well, she wants to call her mom and like, talk to her about it. Like, why didn't you tell me? Why were you holding this information for me? But they're like, just, sleep on it and, talk about it in the morning or whatever. So she goes to go to sleep, and Louis basically like opened the door for Eddie and was like, it's time to go. Like, get your stuff. It's time to go. And then Louis tells Eddie, like, you need to tell her the full truth. Like, are you going to tell her the other stuff? And Eddie was like, it's just not the time. And I'm like, what else is there for him to tell her? Because like I told you, I kind of called this early on, but I thought it was going to be Eddie who had cancer, but it's Mama Lou. So I'm trying to figure out what else he has to tell Jax. Like, what else is he hiding? But I think that the other secret is that him and Mama Lou got remarried. Because as you like kind of see their relationship play out in this episode, that's what it's giving to me. And then so yeah, Louis is like, if you don't tell her, I will. So we got some more stuff to look forward to, some more drama. And during this episode, like, Jax is having flashbacks of her childhood. And so the next scene after she gets this talk is her going to her mom's house to talk to her. And she's sitting in the car reminiscing on her childhood. And the song that they play is I Choose You. And I don't know who sings it, because honestly, I've never really heard the original version before. But I always listen to the newer song by Bun B and UG. Well, Bun B was a part of UGK at this time, but by UGK and you know who else. I can't think right now, but I always listen. Like, I really like that song, and so every time I hear the I Choose You part, like the actual sample that they use, like, it just really does something to me. So hearing that, I was like, oh yes, like, I love this, because again, they're always right on with the music. And like I said, this was my first time, I think, actually listening to like a full out part of the actual real song, and I just loved it. Like, it was so cute. And so yeah, Jax is reminiscing, and we get to see baby Jax, and baby Jax is so cute. And we see a younger Mama Lou and a younger Eddie, and they just seem like a happy baby, a happy family. I'm sorry. And then Mama Lou and Eddie are dancing, and Jax goes over to play with her daddy guitar, and he just starts yelling at her, and he was cussing at the baby, and I'm like, don't be cussing at the baby, like, because I don't know, but my parents never cussed at me. And especially a child that young, like, don't be cussing at the baby. And Mama Lou was like, don't talk to her like that. Like, you're gonna scare her. But we all see later why he was talking to her like that. Like, number one, I know you parents like wouldn't want kids to play with things that are expensive because they mess them up. And at that time, music was Eddie's way of living. So, of course, he didn't want her messing up his guitar, but also he was hiding the booger sugar in that guitar. So, yeah. And he didn't want Jax to find his stash. But, I mean, she eventually finds it because then we see her actually watch him, doing coke. And she was like, Daddy, what's that? And he was like, oh, it's Daddy's medicine. And that's where it all went downhill right there. And before we get more into anyways, after that, it goes into Jax, talking to Mama Lou about why she never told her that she had cancer or whatever. And so fun fact, I found out that the person who plays Mama Lou is actually Paula Washington, Denzel Washington's wife. And I found this out before this season came out. I didn't know it during the previous seasons. But yeah, that's Denzel Washington's wife. And yeah, like, I feel like we get to, like, because this episode was focused on her character, so I feel like we kind of see her more, so I kind of want to talk about this now. But yeah, she's a great actress. And Denzel actually kind of got him a cougar because she's 5 years older than him. And, like, no offense, when I found out that she was his wife, I was like, oh, she kind of looks older, like, I didn't, like, but then I Googled her and everything, and I saw that, she's 5 years older. So Denzel got him a little cougar, but she's still a beautiful woman. But that was just a side note that I wanted to bring up just in case anybody didn't know that. But anyways, they're talking, and then I believe the next scene is them going to the surgeon's office or the oncologist's office. And they're talking about the surgery that they want Mama Lou to have for her condition. And again, like, I've been through this. Like, my dad had to have surgery for his cancer. But I don't think his surgery was as serious as they were describing Mama Lou's to be. Like, they were saying all the side effects, which I don't know what the side effects were when my dad was having surgery, because, like, my parents, like, they told me what was going on, but, like, I didn't really get too many details about it. And yeah, so, like, again, like, this whole episode was just kind of melancholy to me because it was just way too familiar, and it was just like last episode was so good because I'm here for the drama, and I know that this episode is important to the plot. I just kind of wish we didn't focus the majority of the episode on it. Like, I like the flashbacks, but the whole cancer situation, like I get the importance of it, but it just, personally, to me, it drains me. And I guess it's because of what I've been through. I just feel like most of, like, the deaths that we're seeing recently, like celebrity deaths and everything, are from people who've had cancer. Like, D'Angelo just died of cancer, and so many people have just recently died of cancer, and I'm just like, find the cure already. Like, find it. Like, and I really think that they have one, but as we know, healthcare is a form of currency in the U.S. So I think that the least priority, or like that's the bottom of the priority. Curing cancer, like everybody is always talking about finding a cure for cancer, finding a cure for HIV, and I just honestly think that they already have cures for that, and they're just not giving them because, like, money. Like, this is a capitalist society, and yeah, but I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. But anyways, yeah, I just, like, I understand the importance of this episode. I just wish that we didn't have to focus on cancer for so long in the episode, but I get why it was important. So, yeah, Jax was talking to the surgeon, and then we transition into a scene with her and Bill. They're at work, and Jax tells Bill that her mom has cancer, and he's like, you need to take some time off. And she talking about, what they need to do for the case, and he's like, no, like, we can get a continuance. Take the time off to be with your mom. He offers to bring her a casserole, and I'm just like, that is so white of him. Like, Black people don't eat casseroles, but low key, like, now, one casserole a Black person will throw down is a broccoli and cheese casserole, a broccoli and cheese rice casserole. Black people love that, but as far as like I feel like that's the only casserole we eat. Now, I do vaguely remember my mama making a casserole, and I feel like it was a green bean casserole. I feel like it was like green beans and cream of mushroom, and it could have been some other stuff in there. And I could be getting it wrong. I don't know what kind of casserole it was, but Black people don't eat no type of casseroles unless it's broccoli and cheese and rice casserole. Now, if you are a Black person and you eat casseroles, let me know what kind of casseroles you be eating, because I'm intrigued. But, yeah, like, Bill gonna offer her a casserole, and I'm like, boy. And he should know better because his wife is Black. Has his wife ever cooked him a casserole? Probably not. But anyways, and then Jax is like, I was finna say overseer, like we in the slavery days, but like her big boss, or like, I don't know if he's her big boss, but like one of the other partners comes in, and Bill lets them know what's going on, and he's like, well, we got to get this trial out the way. And he's like, no, like, he actually stands up for Jackson this time, and I really appreciated that. And he was like, no, we need a continuance, like, her mom has cancer, and they was only trying to give my girl 2 days off, which that's probably is all that she got off. But I'm just like, dang, like, this is a life-altering situation, and y'all can only afford to give her 2 days? That's crazy after all, like, after everything that she's done for this company. And that's why they be telling you, like, don't give your all to these jobs, because these jobs do not care. They will suck you dry, and then when you're down and out, like, if something bad happens to you, they looking for your replacement. But I mean, hopefully they gave her more than 2 days, but they was only trying to give my girl 2 days to deal with what was going on with her mama. And that's crazy. That's her mother. Like, that's wild. But anyways, so then we go to the scene where the assistant, which I still haven't, every time I look up the cast members of this show, they never show her. And like, I'm gonna have to Google Jack's assistant name in Reasonable Doubt, because if you just Google Reasonable Doubt cast, I don't think she pops up, and I do not remember her name in the show. But anyway, she calls out Daniel about Kristen, because she definitely caught him last episode hugging her, and she knew it was a little bit more to that hug. And yeah, she called him out about it. He was like, nah, I'm just doing research. Like, I got this under control. And he mentions to her that, like, Kristen stopped a deal that Alex had going on with the author. The author was going to write a tell-all book about Ozzy. And he was like, yeah, but I set up a meeting acting like I was a competitive author to give him a better deal. And he was like, and she was like, okay, so what happened? And he was like, well, he didn't answer the phone. But then he calls while they're discussing it, And he gonna say this is Ronald McBooker. He was finna say Ronald McDonald, but then he goes to say McBooker, and like Alex on the other end should have known like this is a scam, Ronald McBooker. But I probably wouldn't have thought twice about it either. So yeah, but I was just like, really, Daniel, Ronald McBooker. But anyways, after that, Daniel and Alex had set up to meet at 2 o'clock at some like place. I think it was supposed to be like days later. And then we go to a scene where Jax goes to talk to her mom, and her mom's not home, but Eddie's there in the backyard playing his guitar. And it's like, Eddie, you a little too comfortable in Mama Lou's house. That's why I'm thinking they got remarried. Because how is he just casually at Mama Lou's house without her being there? You got a key? And then we find out Mama Lou made him power of attorney. And when we look at all these flashbacks of what he put her through, like what changed your mind about him, and even how she was speaking about him in previous seasons, what changed your mind about him to just let you give him all of this privilege? So I truly think they got remarried. And then Jax was like questioning him, like, this is very convenient for you. Like, you coming around, my mama's sick, and all of a sudden you have all this power. Are you trying to take advantage of her? But he tries to let her know that that is not his agenda. And Jax mentions that the mom got a DNR. And a DNR, for those who don't know what that is, it means do not resuscitate. So if anything goes wrong in the surgery to where her heart stops, the instructions are to not resuscitate her. And my dad had that as well. He had a DNR. And yeah, like I just everything, well, not everything, but almost everything that was happening in this episode was like very familiar. And I just, like, I felt attacked. Not attacked, but I was just like, oh, please, like, I don't want to watch this. And then we cut to another flashback where Jax is at the park with her little friends, and baby Jax up in here trying to teach her little friends how to snort coke. And I'm just like, see, that's why we don't do things in front of our children, because her daddy didn't lie to her and told her that was his medicine. So now she think it's just medicine and it's cool. And I mean, she got the happy candy, put it on the mirror, got a library card. Like, she knew what she was doing. She has studied this. Then get the Capri Sun straw and was finna snort it through her nose. And I just wonder what would happen if she would have actually, because her mama got there in time to save her, but if she would have actually snorted that candy up her nose, I wonder what that would have did to her. Like, I just feel like it would have altered her brain in a way that's not good. But this part made me, when Mama Lou confronted Eddie about this, because they were all at the park together, this part made me realize that the lady that was playing young Mama Lou was a very good actor. Her vocal inflections were like the same as the older Mama Lou's vocal expressions. And it made me realize that there's some really good actors on this show. Like, I've never, like, besides maybe the children, which, you know, they still have room to grow, and their acting is not bad at all. But, like, I've never just watched this show and been like, oh my God, the acting is terrible. Like, it's actually kind of good. Like, they do a really good job acting in this show. Like, it's good. The scene that I next remember is Bill and Sally pillow talking, and Bill running his mouth telling Sally that Mama Lou has cancer. And it's like, Bill, close your mouth, because that's going to get you caught up. And then I guess the scene before that was Jax talking to her mom. But after that scene, we see Jax talking to her mom again, but this time it's over the phone. And Mama Lou was just explaining to her, like, you know, this is not, like, I want to have this surgery because having cancer is not a life. And I could have cried when I saw that the second time. I don't remember what my reaction to her saying that was the first time. But the second time, it really got to me because it just reminded me of like my father, like when he was nearing like death, because my father passed away from cancer. He was at the point where like he couldn't really talk, and he couldn't eat, so he was getting fed through a tube, and he was just like, I'm so hungry. And he was about to actually be on hospice. And I remember the hospice nurse coming to our house, and she was just like she was talking about it, and then that's when she was like, so like you want to have a DNR, like I'm listening to this lady say this, and she was like, so you do not want to resuscitate? And he was like, yeah. And I remember like it felt like I almost had an anxiety attack hearing that. And like, cause I like, they told me like, oh, somebody's gonna come over here, and they're gonna like set my daddy up with like a medical bed and all of this. And I believe they said hospice nurse, but at the time I truly didn't know what hospice meant, because like, so like my daddy was a pastor, and like, so I've heard the word hospice before, because he would, go and sit with people who had hospice and like pray for them and stuff. But I didn't truly know what that meant until like my dad was about to sign up for hospice care. And if you don't know what it means like you basically are like giving up on treatment, and or there's nothing else that the doctors can do for you, and you only have so long of your life left. And I just remember that, and like as soon as he was like, as soon as he told the nurse like, yeah, I don't want to be resuscitated if anything happens, like I could have fainted. Like I was just like, and like I had to walk away, because I was like, this is too much. What do you mean? And I didn't want to like cause a scene. And then after that, like after the lady left, I was like, Mom, like what does daddy mean? What does daddy mean you don't want to be resuscitated? And she was just like, I think you should talk to him about it. Because I was like, I guess I was like angry, and I was probably like crying. And she was like, I think you should talk to him about it. And I was talking to my dad about it, and he just basically told me like I'm tired. It's a lot. And he was telling me, because like a lot happened in my family that year. Like, so this was around March, and like in January, and this happened 2 years ago in 2023. So in March was when me and my dad was having this conversation. And in January, that's when my dad's health like really started to decline. And like that's when like he got the feeding tube, and he wasn't able to preach anymore. And like he wasn't able to really talk anymore. And his nephew, who really grew up with him more as like a brother, because they were around the same age, he passed away, and he couldn't attend his funeral. And then my uncle, his real brother, who he had just got really reconnected with in 2017, he passed away also in the same year. And like my cousin, who was my dad's nephew, he passed away in January. And I think my uncle passed away in like March or maybe February. And he was like, I wasn't able to go to his funeral. I wasn't able to go to my brother's funeral. And like I'm not able to. And like funerals, like I know it's like a sad thing, but it's like people, like you want to be there for your loved ones. And he was basically saying he wasn't able to be there, and he wasn't really able to do anything. And I just remember he couldn't sleep through the night. Like like nothing was comfortable for him, and he was just like, I'm tired, and if like I go, I want to go peacefully. Like I don't want nobody banging on my chest. Those are his exact words. Like I don't want nobody banging on my chest. And I was just like, but and to me, it just kind of sounded like he was giving up. And I was just like, but why? Like, because to me, I would think I would want anybody to save my life. But he's saying like basically was saying like what Mama Lou was saying, like having cancer is not a life to want to have. And that was just like, wow. And I just bawled, like I bawled for a while because that was a lot for me to hear. Like basically hearing your parents about to die, like that's crazy. And but Mama Lou was saying that like that's why she wants to have the surgery, because living with cancer is not a life worth living, and she would rather take, you know, even if the surgery feels like it's a high risk, she would rather do something, because she had options. And like at the point where my dad was telling me that he didn't really have any more options left. But yeah, so Mama Lou, you know, was explaining to Jax about that. And yeah, then Jax was like, well, please, if you're going to go through with this surgery, please at least come and stay with me so the people that love you and the people that's been here for you all these years could, you know, help you recover. Because, excuse me, because you're giving Eddie all of this power, but he was not there for you like we were. And so Mama Lou agrees, and that's why I think it's going to be Mama Lou that Jax is upset about finding, you know, instead of Naima. And then the next scene is Daniel spending the night with Kristen, and I'm just like, oh, it's like that, y'all spending the night, and then he going through her phone, and he's looking up, he's trying to find messages between her and Alex, and he looks up Alex's name, and he doesn't find anything, like the messages are all deleted. But this to me seems like it could be a continuity error, because in a couple of episodes ago, she had his name saved in her phone as F No. So I don't know if she changed it or if I'm missing something, but it's like that's probably why you couldn't find nothing, because that's not what his name was saved as. And I don't know if the directors and producers forgot about that, or if they're going to clear that up later, or what, or if I'm just missing something. I don't know. But yeah, he's going through her phone. He doesn't find anything, so he starts sharing her location with him, so he can track her. And then the next scene is Jax at her home. She's hosting a baby shower for her friend Autumn. And it's just a very overwhelming situation, because she just got this news that her mom has cancer, and she's trying to deal with everything as much as she can. And now she knows that her mom is going through with this surgery that could be life or death. And she's just overwhelmed. And Sally walks her up to her talking about are you okay? I heard about your mom. And she's like, wait a minute. How you hear about my mom? And she tried to lie and say that Lewis told her, but Jax wasn't buying it. So then she confessed that her and Bill have been having relations, and that he's the one who told her. And I'm like, Sally, you have no shame. You have no shame. And I thought Jax was going to trip out, but she didn't. And it's probably because she just had too much on her plate. And then after that, she just can't take it no more. So she goes in her room, and she pull out this box where she got a cigarette in it. And Jax gave up smoking because she caught her son vaping in the previous season. And she didn't want her son to go down these bad to pick up that bad habit. So she tried to stop smoking, but she has a cigarette in there. And she had this object in there that I didn't know what it was, but it was a guitar pick. and she was holding a guitar pick, and she explains why later. But then Chanel pops in and she sees her in distress, and she's trying to comfort her, and she's actually trying to see the situation from Mama Lou's point of view. And she's like, well, maybe Mama Lou didn't tell you because she's trying to protect you from hurt and pain, because how would you go about telling your kids this? And then Chanel brings up, how she protected her daughter from going to jail for killing her father. And I think, like, and again, I could relate because, like I said, when I was hearing well, not when I was hearing that, like, about my dad on hospice or whatever, but, like, when my dad was going through cancer, like, when he first got diagnosed, everything was good. Like, he had even got to a point where the cancer was gone. But it had came back, and it came back in a different area. It came back in his lungs, and it was, I believe the word is metastatic, which means, like, it grows quickly. I think that's the word. I could be saying it wrong. But the first, like, when he was first diagnosed, everything was good. He had the surgery. Like, months later, he rang the bell, and the cancer was gone. He did chemo, before he rang the bell, and the cancer was gone. But then when it came back very aggressively and very rapidly, and it moved rapidly. And the difference between my dad and Jack's mom is that my dad's cancer was stage 4. Like, they didn't catch it early; they caught it kind of late. So, like, when my dad would, like, have to go to chemo treatments, like, I only went to one chemo treatment with my dad, and, like, my parents, like, I think that they were trying to, like, shelter me from seeing that because they didn't want me to hurt. And I'm saying this to, like, say, like, I know what Chanel was talking about, kind of. Because, like, my dad having cancer couldn't have came at the worst time. Like, he actually, and, like, I didn't peep none of this, like, while it was happening, but he actually started feeling sick on my birthday, on my birthday. Like, he didn't feel good. And that's when he started going to the doctors because he knew something was up. And I'm just like, wow. And it was, like, my 25th birthday. So here I am, mid-20s, like, trying to live my best life, thinking life is going grand for me. When he was going to, like, his first chemo treatment, I had got my first full-time job. So, he's trying to, like, protect me from not seeing him go through that, because, like, I'm at, like, this is supposed to be the prime of my life. And, like, I'm working my full-time job, and, like, and honestly, that job was very toxic for me. And, like, I remember him asking me, like, very early, because I was I'm a teacher, and at this particular school, like, it was my first year teaching, and like, that environment was a culture shock to me. But he was just like, how are you liking it? And I was like, honestly, like, something got to give. I don't know how long I could do this. And he like was like, yeah. And so I think he kind of saw that too, and was like, I don't want to stress her out more than she's already stressed out. So, like there was a lot of stuff that I, like, wasn't around for, and I think that was his way of, like, trying to protect me. But anyways, after Chanel is talking to her, we cut to the scene where Mama Lou is being prepped for surgery, and Bill shows up in the hospital with flowers for Jax. And he's just there for her, and I really appreciate him being there for her, because he was moving like a snake in the last episode. So I was just happy to see Bill show up for Jax and just be there for her, because he can be a questionable person at times. And then it cuts to Daniel waiting for Alex to show up for this meeting that they're supposed to have, but he's extremely late. And then he starts checking his phone and he notices that Kristen location says that she's at the hospital, so he goes to see what's up with that. And then we go to a flashback of baby Jax being at home by herself, which I'm trying to figure out why Mama Lou left that baby at home by herself. Now, I know, like, back in the day, things were different. Children were more mature than they are now. Neighborhoods were safer. Well, maybe not safer, but, like, neighborhoods were more of a community than they are now, and people, felt safe with their neighbors and trusted their neighbors. But I just think 6 is extremely young to leave a child at home alone. But who knows what was going on. Mama Lou had to do what she had to do. She's basically a single mother. But anyway, she leaves Jax at home alone, and Eddie show up at the door, cracked out. Well, I guess he's not cracked out yet, but he's a crackhead, so he probably still cracked out from whenever the last time he did crack. He at the door, and Jack's excited to see her daddy because all she know is that her daddy left, and her mama not really letting him in the house, and she probably ain't seen him in I don't know how long. So she see her daddy at the door, she open the door, and he like, I'm finna make you a snack. He goes in that kitchen. No snacks were being made. All crack. He go in that kitchen, take that belt off, tie it around his arm. And I'm just like, not the heron, Eddie. Like, I never want my life to get bad to where I got to do some heron. And I just, like, that form of a drug is not even available. Well, I think it is available, but I think it's more common in, like, a pill form now. But I never want my life to get that bad. And I don't even think his life was that bad, because he said in the last episode, like, people in the entertainment industry were just doing drugs. And, like, it was just something, like, that he got caught on to. And I don't never want to be on drugs. And like, I honestly, like, even if like injecting yourself with heroin was still a big thing in this time, like in today's world, I probably wouldn't do it anyways, because I'm not scared of needles, but I don't like involuntary, like, and then to shoot it up myself, no. Because when the doctor injects you with something, like if you go to the doctor to get a shot, you could close your eyes and not watch them do it. Like, I don't be scared of the pain. I just be scared of, like, I just don't like it because, for one, I don't like seeing blood like that. And, like, what if they hit the wrong vein or something? But anyway, Eddie on that heroin. At first, so at first he was sniffing coke. And so, like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's the evolution of drugs like? So first, we're snorting the cocaine. That's how it's done. But then we find out, I guess, that it's more powerful when you heat it up. And, like, putting a lighter to a metal spoon, does that heat it up faster? Like, I'm trying to understand the logic. Behind all this. So I guess heating up the spoon with the cocaine that was previously used to be snorted on top makes the high stronger. But then why do we got to inject it? Do we feel it more? Like, somebody told me, like, how that work and, like, what's the science behind that? Like, because I'm kind of curious. But I'm not curious enough to do it. And anyways, while this is going on, Jack's just in the living room watching TV, laughing, having herself a good time. She's not even worried about that snack. But then Mama Lou comes home with the groceries, and she's like, I'm finna make you a snack. And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. Daddy in there making me a snack right now. And Mama Lou is like, girl, what? She go in there to see Eddie passed out on the floor. And she is livid and just trying to get him to wake up, but he's not waking up. So she calls 911 and sends Jax away. And then we get to, it cuts to a scene of Mama Lou starting surgery, and they show like the doctors making an incision on her. And that's something I didn't have to see because, like I just said, like I don't like seeing blood. I don't want to see nobody being cut open. Like, no thank you. And then it cuts back to the flashback of of Mama Lou smoking a cigarette because she's stressed. Her child didn't seen her daddy laying on the floor. She didn't have to clear that whole situation up, and the house is just full of boxes. And Jax was like, "Mom, what's happening?" Like, and she's like, "Baby, we leaving." And Jax asking all these questions like little kids do, and that was familiar as well because I've worked for little kids for a long time, and all they do is ask question after question after question after question. And I would have responded like Jack's mama too. She kind of crashed out a little bit. But you have to remember that these are children and they don't know any better. So, she consoled her, but she was just going through a lot. And Jax is like, well, if we move, Daddy's going to come with us. And she's trying to explain the best way she can, but she not trying to break her daughter's heart. So she just lets her know that Daddy's going to be away for a while and we're going to go stay with some people. And Jax was like, well, Daddy promised me a present. And so Mama Lou, again, not trying to break her daughter's heart, she just find anything, and she see that guitar pick, and she was like, oh, here it is. Let me just wash it off. Here's the present. And it's just a simple guitar pick, but it's probably coked out. And that's why she had to wash it, because she don't want to give her baby a coked out guitar pick, and she gives it to her as if the daddy left it for her. But he did not, because druggies don't keep their promises. And here go Mama Lou trying to make up for her druggy husband and trying to keep her child happy. And then we cut back to the hospital. Jax is in the chapel. And her dad walks in there, and they having this sentimental talk, and her dad, just basically lets her know, like, again, like, I think this was your mom's way of protecting you by not telling you what was really going on. And, like I said, they having a sentimental talk. And then that's when we find out that guitar pick that Mama Lou gave Jax when she was a baby was that same guitar pick that Jax picked up when she was stressed at Autumn's baby shower. And he used to calm her down because, she thought that was a gift that her daddy gave her before he went away. And that was the last thing she had to remind her of her daddy. And she thought like her daddy actually gave it to her. She went all those years thinking that her daddy actually gave it to her. But he let her know, like, no, that was your mom just making up for my mistakes and telling you that I gave that to you even though I didn't. Then Lewis walks in and says the doctors want to talk to them. And baby, this scene almost took me out because they walking to go hear what the doctor got to say, and Other Side by Beyonce is playing, and that song is so beautiful to me. Like when the Gift album first came out, I loved that song, but I could not listen to it because I knew it was about transition, like transitioning to the spiritual, and it's so beautiful, but it's so sad at the same time. And they got this slow-mo rolling, and they playing this emotional song, and they showing flashbacks of Mama Lou and Jax, and I'm thinking, oh Lord, this lady done died. I was literally about to lose it. Like, I was about to have a heart attack. And then the doctor looking all sad. When they go try to tell the kids, they looking all sad. So I'm like, please, y'all. Don't let this lady die. I can't take it. This episode done already took me through the ringer. I can't take no more. Like, I don't want to see this. I can't. Not today. Not today. But then they tell us that the surgery went fine. It just went a little longer because of Mama Lou's blood pressure. And I was just like, whew. Because, yeah, had she died in that moment, I would have been done. I would have been no more good. No more. But she's fine. Surgery went okay. But I'm just trying to figure out, because like I said, they be on it with this music. how did they get the Beyonce clearance? And I know, like, you know, there's a lot of Jay-Z references, like I keep mentioning. But, like, is Jay-Z... I need to look this up and see if Jay-Z is like an executive producer on the show or something. Or, like, does he have close ties with this show? Because I've never heard a Beyonce song in any other show. So what were they able to do to get that Beyonce clearance? Especially, like, this recent of a song. Like, I can understand a Destiny's Child song. I feel like Single Ladies might have been used in a couple of shows. So that's like at one point in time, that was like her biggest song, I think. I don't know. Or like Crazy in Love or something. But this Other Side, that's a recent song. When Beyonce was already established as a billionaire. So how y'all get the clearance for that? Because I've never heard a Beyonce song on a TV show. But they did that. They had my emotions heightened. They did that. I was not ready. But after we find out that Mama Lou is okay, we cut to Daniel. He's also in the hospital. He has arrived after finding out that Kristen's location was there, and he runs into her. He's like, hey, what you doing here? And she's like, what are you doing here? And he was like, well, Jackson's mom is in the hospital. And it's like, well, you know that's why you're not here. You here to find out what Kristen is up to. And Kristen tells him that her friend was in a biking accident. And then she kissed him, trying to deflect from the situation. It's like, you always kissing him and loving up on him when you don't want him to know something. But he already knows, sweetheart. He already knows. And when she walks away, we see the sign that she was coming out of the ICU. And she was saying her friend was going to be okay. And, baby, if your friend in the ICU, then it's not looking good for them. So what are you saying? Nobody would be in the ICU for a minor biking accident. ICU is life or death, baby. So he goes and he sees that it's Alex in the ICU. So he calls up Jax and they go to, he shows Jax Alex in the ICU and Alex start coding. Alex finna die. And I'm just like, bruh. What is happening? What did she do to him and why did she do it to him? And then the last scene is Kristen on the phone talking about something. Oh, yeah, he's beat up pretty bad. He won't be talking anymore. He probably won't make it through the night. And I'm just like, girl, what did you do to him? Because I know she did it. I just want to know who she was talking to on that phone. It was probably Ozzy. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but she's up to something, and I don't trust her. But yeah, I wonder what she did to him. And I know why. It's because he was going to release that tape. Whatever was on that tape, he was going to release that. And so she killed him, so he couldn't. So, I mean, I hope he doesn't die, but it wouldn't look too good. He was coding. And I think he flatlined at the end. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe he didn't flatline. Maybe his levels were, like, really, really high. Either the ending of the episode ended with a long beep, like he was flatlining, or a lot of beeps, like something went wrong. But yeah, y'all, that was episode 7. And like I said, I could have did without this, but only because of like personal reasons. And I think like because I've seen other shows where like people have cancer, and then they messed me up like this one did. But like I was mentioning, I think this one was just way too close to home. Like, it just kept bringing up things that I've been through. And I was just like, Lord, have mercy. Why do you want me to relive this? And it was just so much. Like, I feel like, because, like, I watch a lot of I've been watching 911. And, you know, a lot of traumatic things happen in that show. And it didn't really trigger me like this did. And I think it's because, like, it was just so focused on it. And I don't know. But yeah, this was not my favorite. It was good. Like, I liked the flashbacks, but I was just looking forward to the drama. But, I mean, I'm glad Mama Lou is okay. And this episode was still good. You know, all of the aspects of it were good. I just personally could have went without it. Yeah, but I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to see if Allie's gonna make it. If that was Mama Lou that Jax found, if she died at the end of the season, I'm gonna feel so bad because all I did was talk bad about Mama Lou. So prayers up for Mama Lou. I hope she make it. I hope there will not be any more complications with chemo or any more after effects complications from the surgery. So Mama Lou is now on the prayer list. I think Naima gonna be okay. We can take her off, but I don't know. It could have still been Naima. Kristen is crazy. I can't wait till they find out she was the one who did it. She killed Wendy. I'm still kind of on that incest train, y'all. I don't know. Because why is she going this hard? Why are you killing people? I don't know, though. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking forward to at this point. My mind is shoveled. I'm hungry. This episode tore me up. I watched it right before filming this just to, because this one I only watched 2 times because I couldn't do it. Okay, couldn't do it. Yeah, can't wait for the next episode. We only have 3 more left, guys. 3 more, and then we got to find something else to do with our time. Let me know what you think is going to happen in these next 3 episodes. Please keep commenting. Please subscribe to all the channels. Please follow the Instagram pages at Kintertainment Pod on Instagram, Kintertainment on Facebook, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. I'm here every week, y'all. So stay tuned. I can't wait to talk to y'all next week about what happens next. Bye.